Trevor Newman. I'm the president of College Democrats at Texas State, and I'm the candidate for Hays County Democratic Chair. One of the reasons that I decided to run for this position is because I really think that we need to be better prepared for 2020, and I do not think that we are prepared with our current leadership. Just some main things that I really want to accomplish. One of them is to spread our roots throughout all of Hays County. I know here in Dripping Springs, you'll have a really bad Republican problem. So I think one of the best things to do is strengthen your chapter and also strengthen Democrats in the area by reaching out through your chapter and also through the main hub of the party. One of the main ways that we can do that is by creating committees that are focused on certain minority groups. So the LGBTQIA groups, the Black, Hispanic groups, the disabled groups. I would like to make committees on all of these fractions of people so that we can hear what they need from the community and we can empower them so that they really feel one out with the party. Another thing is I would really like to hire a full-time staffer for the party, because even as county chair, we're not capable of doing everything, and we're not allowed, or not everyone on our executive board is able to pick up all the slack that we're able to do. So having someone in the office during the work week would be really beneficial, especially during elections, because I would not be personally be able to be in the office while I'm running to polling location after polling location, hoping that everyone is doing everything right and legal. So we need someone in the office answering questions, being able to tell people that's not your right polling location, this is the right one, or we looked you up in the database and you're not registered to vote, so you can't vote, but allowed to tell them what they can do. So give out a provisional ballot, or tell them maybe next time do a mail-in ballot. So I really do think that hiring a staffer is essential, and at the moment our party is very scared about our tax status, but parties across the state and across the country have a full-time staffer, so there's no excuse why we shouldn't have one. What am I at?
Okay. 37, 36.
Okay, great. I'm trying to think of another thing. One of the great things that you can do is during the holidays, I released a 12 days of policy positions. So you can go to my Facebook page, Trevor Newman TX, or you can just look up Trevor Newman. It might take you to my personal one, but right under that, it should be Trevor Newman Politician. And you can go to my Facebook page or my Twitter, and you can see my list of all my policy positions and what I would like to enact as your next party chair.
All right, first question. With heightened concerns across the nation and in Texas regarding ballot security and voter suppression, what steps is the county party taken, and what steps will it take to work with Democratic election judges or alternates and to train poll watchers to reduce vulnerabilities in the areas of ballot security and voter suppression?
So one of the main things that I think we should do is get rid of our elections administrator. I think that she has a hefty Republican voting record, and that's very problematic. I don't think we should have a Democrat in there either. I think that we should have an independent who has a past in election processing. Jennifer Anderson broke the law several times by replacing a Democratic election judge with a Republican election judge, and then made election judges pick up the election equipment from the elections office, which she's supposed to do herself. Which I understand there's a lack of funding in the elections administrative office, but we can't let budgets get us aside. We need to have better planning. So I think the county chair working with the elections administrator is would be a good way, and having a good relationship with them would be the best way to make sure that that is possible.
What are your plans to better communicate to all Hays County Democrats so we know what is going on? There are more than a few folks who don't do social media.
Yeah, so actually one of my things is strengthening social media, but I also understand that there are a lot of people that don't use social media, that are just kind of blank on the internet. So I think one of the best things is creating chapters within cities that don't have chapters. So obviously Dripping Springs has one, but I don't think Driftwood or Wood Creek has a chapter. So either incorporating those chapters into y'all's, being an area, or creating those individual chapters so that we can reach those communities. But also, like I said before, creating those committees is going to bring in a lot of people, because we will need people from the community to fill those positions. Because right now, our Democratic leadership is saying that you have to be a CEC chair to serve on any committee or in the executive board, and that is not true per TDP rules, is that you can be anyone from the community to serve on those positions. So I really think reaching out to people through VAN and reaching out through people in the organizations is the best way to do that.
Please give us at least 2 strengths and 2 weaknesses of the Hays County Democratic Party.
2 strengths, I think that we have an incredible leadership. I think that there obviously are flawed in some ways, and I don't think that there's room for flaws going into 2020, because we need to be at our best strength to be Donald Trump and every other Republican running, and making sure that we support and encourage and help our Democratic elected leaders. Another one I would say is we're really good at keeping up with the current issues. So we have to do a lot of communication during our county executive committees, and that's just one of the good things that I see. I would say the flaws are not being harsh enough towards Republicans. I really think that we need a fighter in there, and I don't see that in our current elected leadership. Because right now we're letting Republicans walk all over us, and one of the main ways that they're going to infiltrate in the 2020 election in Hays County is going to be through voter disenfranchisement.
What will you do to make the HCDP more inclusive of the entire county, i.e. holding meetings in towns other than San Marcos, which is in the far corner of the county away from the other towns?
So it's one of my policy positions that I would like to rotate around the county where we have our monthly meeting. So and working with the chapters to use their space that they have for their monthly meetings, or I don't know how often y'all have meetings, but using those locations to have our monthly meetings. And so not just focusing on the main location in San Marcos, but going around the county and having our monthly meetings there.
What work have you done in the Hays County Democratic Party or any other county party if you've not done any work here?
Yeah, so just a little bit about my experience working in politics is I volunteered for Obama's 2008 campaign, volunteered for Obama's 2012 campaign, worked as a field director during Lyndon Davis's gubernatorial campaign, and then right now I'm the college gym's president. Before then I was their treasurer. Before that I was their political director. So I have a lot of experience in the political sphere. The main accomplishment that I'm very proud of is I was actually Cedric Davis's social media manager and strategist during his 2018 gubernatorial campaign, and he came in 3rd. And it was from the main communication with the African American community through social media, and also just finding locations in key locations that we could communicate with them.
How long have you lived in Hays County?
I've lived in Hays County for 3 years.
The last 2 months before the general, county chair becomes basically a full-time job. What are your work or school commitments from June to November?
So I'm not taking any summer classes, and then also I've told many people that it really needs a full-time atmosphere, so that I'm actually willing to take off the fall semester to make sure that we win in 2020, so that I can put my full-time commitment into making sure that we win and show great voting records in Hays County.
Will you pledge to support the Democratic nominee for president, even if that person is not your first choice?
Yes.
Will you pledge to support the Democratic nominee? Well, this is different because it's a party election. Will you pledge to support the Democratic county chair if it is not you?
Yes.
And what book are you reading now, or what was the last book you read?
So one book that I'm reading right now is actually, I forget the title, I think it's called Unfinished Conversation. And it's a book about a meeting between Robert F. Kennedy and James Baldwin discussing the African American civil rights movement in the 1960s. And RFK, even though being more progressive than his brother, was angered by how outraged the African American community was in the 60s. And I think it really brings a perspective to how even though some of the progressives in the 60s weren't as us young people call, woke as they said they were.
Trevor, our democracy doesn't work unless good people run for office, and that's even more true for the party. So I want to thank you for running for county chair.
Thank you.
We're going to take about 5 minutes for the questions.
I want to echo John's sentiment that we all appreciate you offering yourself for public service, especially service to the Democratic Party. Your comments about having full-time staff, that's something that would be very, very good. The question is how to afford it. How would you propose to raise the funds to fund full-time staff?
So one of the main reasons, or one of the main things that I've actually discussed, because I've discussed it with my campaign pretty thoroughly, is even for a trial and error period, see how interns work in the office. So that not necessarily we have to pay them automatically, but just seeing how it works with the staff in the office, because we've never tried that before. So it's kind of a trial and error period. But raising the funds is actually, we have one main fundraiser a year, and I would like to have 4, so it'd be quarterly fundraisers, just as big as the LBJ thing, because we have the potential. We have donors asking to throw fundraisers, and the party's just not allowing it because we don't have the time. But I would think fundraising should be our main priority, especially helping ourselves and then helping candidates down the ballot.